Leona Walden.
Thank you for your time and the opportunity to speak with you. I'm here to also request that you rescind the decision on 7C5, December 9th, 2008, of transferring 4 units from the Mendocino Art Center property to the McCallum House Suites. I'd like to introduce myself. I've been involved at the Mendocino Art Center for 34 years. I spent 10 years paying off a $380,000 debt. I have been an instructor, member of the board, art director for the magazine, and of course fundraiser. I'm currently on a leave of absence on the board, but I am still a member. I was shocked when I learned that the Board of Supervisors had transferred the units that belonged to the Mendocino Art Center to the McCallum House. No notice was given to the Art Center that I know of, and it was done without us having any input whatsoever. These units are not visitor serving units. These units are in fact student housing and instructor housing, and that's how they're used. These units that you transferred have not yet been built, but we do have plans to build them. I'll talk about that a little bit later. The Art Center is a valuable resource to this community. We have bring in over 1,200 students from all over the county for free art classes. We employ a number of full-time and many part-time people. We bring in approximately $4 to $5 million into the community. My main interests are twofold. One is the endowment fund, because I would like to see the Art Center exist another 50 years. We're celebrating 2009 as our 50th anniversary. The second is to see that the buildings that we have are replaced as they need to be, and the Art Center continues to grow. I've been working with architect Bob Schlosser, and we have a three-phase plan to revamp the buildings at the Art Center. The first phase is to replace 3 apartments that are melting into the ground with no foundations that have problems, and build a 2 stories with the 3 apartments upstairs and a large classroom downstairs. The second phase is to replace 2 more apartments that have similar problems, making a 2-story building with 3 new apartments upstairs. And the third phase is to reconstruct the main gallery and do a partial 2-story section to it upstairs, which would be the one additional apartment plus office space. These units are extremely important to the Art Center and extremely a valuable asset. I trust the Board of Supervisors will understand both the legal and the moral issues and reconsider their decision. And I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Walden. Liliana Cunha.
Good morning. My name is Liliana Cunha, and I'm a past president of the board of the Mendocino Art Center. I am dismayed that you would have made a decision to transfer the 4 units from a nonprofit entity to a for-profit visitor units for the McCallum House without ever notifying the Mendocino Art Center that this was something that they needed to be aware of, to look into, and to defend themselves, frankly. Basically, this was pushed through by the 3 inland members of the board without really considering what the 2 coastal members of the board had to say, and without any real understanding, I think, of what goes on the coast and how important the Art Center is to the coast. We bring people to the coast from all over the world, not just all over this country, but from all over the world, and that's why we have an ever-growing number of people coming to visit the coast. If you hamper the growth of the Art Center, you hamper the growth of the coast. I'm sure that that's not what you intended, but I really believe that you should rescind this decision that you made, because it certainly was not in the best interest of the Art Center. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Mr. J.R. Rose.
Good morning, board members, and to the new board members, I congratulate you on your elections. My name is J.R. Rose, and some of you know me. I'm more or less a senior advocate. I tried to work out for seniors 2 years or so ago. I brought in front of this board at that time a deal to protect senior citizens in mobile home parks, and so far that has not been resolved. But my main thing today is about COLAs, cost of living deals. As the federal government puts money down and they send it down and they allocate for entitlement programs, they send it down to the states, and the states send it to the county, et cetera, what it is. And each and every individual government set certain projects in order, and they set certain policies on the quotas that these people live under. And as you notice that in January of this year, the seniors got a 5.8 raise in their Social Security. What may not mean too much, but there's some people, and I've talked to HUD, and I also talked to the food banks and other places around here. It means some of them will be allocated out of what is called the part of it because they had a raise, but the windows didn't go up with the cost of living. Do you understand what I mean? It's where the price goes up, and their price goes up, but the window which they live under didn't go up with them. It stayed at the same place it was because the federal government gives the raises on the 1st of January, and most of the people work under a contract between June to July under their budgets. So what I'm asking is, I know the economy is real bad and situations are real deal, but what I'd like to think this Board of Supervisors take into consideration is the programs that the county has and the ones in which they're keeping. As they keep these programs, as the raises go into effect, would you please move the windows up in effect so these people don't lose whatever they have, whether it's housing, food, or whatever they get from the county? That is what I asked, I request. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Any other members of the public like to speak under public expression? Sure, come to the podium. State your name for the record, please, sir.
My name's Jim Wholl, Redwood Valley. I just wanted to take the opportunity to remind people that the land north of town is still available for industrial park. The property that's now, what do they call it now? Mendocino Crossing. But that this would be a very good opportunity now that we have a depression in full swing to start looking at ways to generate some new local jobs while some of the chain stores and other enterprises are leaving town, as we just found out with Mervyn's, and we'll find out with a few more in the next couple of months. It would be appropriate to start planning an industrial park. It's going to take time. It's going to take years. Local citizens working with the Board of Supervisors to start finding small enterprises locally and in the overall California area that might be interested in starting operations here, trying to keep some jobs locally. If we lose all the jobs that the chain stores bring in here and provide nothing in return, we're really going to be in trouble. So I'd like to encourage the board to get started on that. The members of the board that will be members of the, I think there's an industrial subcommittee, one of the groups that the board forms. People like myself that have had some experience in industrial planning, be happy to meet with members of the board and start mapping something out, get something started. It seems as if right now nothing's going on. We're sitting around waiting to see what other shoe drops over there at the Mendocino Crossing. So be happy to work with whoever is interested. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any other members of the public? I'm going to make an announcement here. In the future, our public expression